Support and funding for stickers is provided by viewers like you. Thank you.
It's August, hot, but somewhere in this house, I feel a cold front. That's better. Okay, I know it's August. I know it's not fall. I know we are at least a month, maybe 2 months, if we really don't count the start of September as fall, as I do, and I know many others do as well. But I like to plan, and I like to make sure that all of the books that I want to read are at my library. If I need to put in a request, I can, and also holds on Libby. And a lot of these books are probably going to need to be put on hold so that you can get them at the right time. So yeah, it's August. Yeah, I'm doing a Spooky Reads TBR now, but now you have time to plan. Because now you have the bingo board and you have the list that I'm creating today and whatever else you want to plan for. Because if you don't plan for it, the books are not going to be there, and then you just have to buy them, which for me is not what I want to do. I want to get them from the library and support my local library. So a lot of these books are a little creepy, a little something's not quite right in a small town, horror, but I would say soft horror. We're not getting into like body horror or cannibalism or anything of that nature, just because that's not my vibe. And I like things spooky but cozy. I want to be a little scared, want to be thinking about how gross or realistic something is. That's just not my bag. And if that is your bag, okay, at least you know I'm not going to suggest any of those things. You can move on with your life. But if you, like me, are into spooky but cozy, so grab something to drink, get a blanket, get cozy. If you need to, pull the shades down and pretend it's not sunny out. Pretend it's nice and cool outside with a little bit of wind, with a tree limb tapping at the window. And let's get into the spooky mood just for these few minutes and go through the 13 books I have on my list for this fall. Ready? I'm going to transport you there. I've got 13 recommendations. A lot of them vary. Some of them border on more horror than creepy, but I'm trying to stay within creepy but cozy vibes within those constraints, but there are a couple that I think kind of stray away from them. The first two being The Imposium by Olga Tokarczuk and The Repeat Room by Jessie Ball. Those two automatically have creepy vibes, but they bring in a lot of social rhetoric that maybe you're trying to escape, maybe you're not wanting that in your next read, and I totally understand that. In fact, I may not even want that in my next read because of the world currently. And then we have The Tinfoil Butterfly by Rachel Eve Moulton. This one is similar to The Road by Cormac McCarthy, it seems. These are all books I haven't read, by the way. These are all books that I want to read, so I'm kind of giving you vibes just based on what I've read in their comment section and or Goodreads area. So Tinfoil Butterfly, there is a girl that's on a bus and is trying to make it to the Badlands, but then the dumb but hot bus driver is a little bit creepier than first expect, and so she ends up stranded in another area. She goes to a diner where she meets an even creepier little boy, and having to unravel her past and help him defeat George. And I don't know, I'm interested in that, and definitely interested in what Earl, the little boy's deal is, and his tinfoil mask. And one of my favorite YouTubers, Allison Pages, if she ever posts again, I would love that. But she read this and recommended it, and every time she recommends something, it's always a home run for me. So I'm recommending it and or wanting to read it. Okay, and the next one, Haley, the one from Vegas, the one that I went to Vegas for, suggested Lockwood & Co. And this is a middle grade series, and it depicts a world where it's overrun by ghosts. And so there's a bunch of paranormal societies, and our main character has come to London, I believe, to make her career, but she ends up having to take a job at the most like rundown, least reputable paranormal association. And it seems like all of her and the owner, Lockwood's, investigations go wrong, and they have one more chance to prove themselves, and it's in the probably the most haunted place of all haunted places. I'm very interested in that. That checks all of the boxes of comfy but cozy. We're sticking it to middle grade, so there's, you know, fluff writing, I guess. Like it's not going to cause too much turmoil in my head, and I really appreciate that. And of course Haley liked it, so I know I'll like it. The next one is A Lonely Broadcast by Kel Byron, and this one gives off a similar feeling to one of my favorite fictional podcasts, which is Tower 4. The premise of this is our main character moves to a small town, but something's not quite right, realizes there's a broadcast, and the broadcast is from the watchtower. And even more, there's a bird, question mark, I think, that is running the broadcast, or is like kind of like the witches, monkeys in the Wizard of Oz. Like the bird is watching out for the person reporting in the watchtower. I don't know, but it seems like there's some comedic relief between her and the bird getting up to antics. But I just like the premise of small town, eerie, and there's a broadcast that only reaches the town, and it's from the watchtower, which makes it, you know? And the next one is Dark Matter by Michelle Paver. I know we're all familiar with probably Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, another good book, but not the same one. This one I can only find on Amazon and like thrifted books. I don't think it's as well known, so, and it makes it hard because of course like he's got the SEO. Anyway, this one checks all the boxes for me. It's a group of scientists going to the Arctic, and then all of a sudden they start disappearing, and it might be at the hands of a ghost. And the one person that's left has to figure out what it is and how to get out, which I absolutely love. That is exactly the vibes that I'm going for. And the next one is Last Days by Adam Neville. And this one's a cult horror. The main character is a broadcast journalist going to film and report on the most infamous cult from the 1970s in this fictional town, or fictitious place in this fictitious world. The more he interviews, the more he investigates, the more places he goes, the weirder and weirder it gets. And the more and more it seems like there's a little bit more to all of those rumors about there being some supernatural cause for all of their endings, if you know what I mean. The next one is Rewind by Catherine Ryan Howard. This one is interesting and really goes into the realm of Stephen King area. The main character is a creepy guy. He has cameras set up in the hotel and the hotel rooms when he shouldn't, and he watches all of those cameras like a creepazoid, but he ends up capturing a crime on the cameras. And when the other main character comes in and it starts asking questions, he has to decide between keeping his secret or letting this person know that he is actually really creepy and he does actually have cameras in the room and he's been watching her this whole time. And that is a little too close to reality for me, honestly, a little bit, because I did just listen to a podcast episode about somebody who did this in bathrooms, and I really don't like it. But I am interested to know how the main character deals with his moral failings and his feelings for this person, even though he is very clearly creepy. Okay, and the next one is House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig. This one's also recommended by Haley. It's an atmospheric horror, abandoned castle. And we've got 4 sisters. They are not allowed to leave the castle, but they keep sneaking out and going to balls, like dancing balls. And they come back and they wind up dead. There's one sister left, or either one sister or a couple sisters. I don't know. It's basically what's happening is there's one sister who wants to go to these balls, who wants to break all the rules just like her sisters until they start winding up dead. And so now she has to make the choice if she's gonna, go to the ball with her sisters or stay and figure out what's killing her sisters. Something's going on at that ball. The next one is This Wretched Valley by Jenny Kiefer. This one borders on supernatural and murder. I want to say I'm not a big fan of murder, but it obviously is a main theme throughout a lot of horror, so it's kind of hard to get away from. But this one is about some rock climbing enthusiasts. I think they're trying to film themselves climbing this really like once in a lifetime rock cliff face, and they wind up dead. And nobody finds out that they're dead until their bodies are discovered, and they're discovered in different precarious situations. We've got one skeleton, one that looks like it's been ripped open, and one that has mutilation, as in like a finger missing or other things of that nature. And it seems that there's a little bit more going on than just your run-of-the-mill murder. And then we've got Annihilation by Jeff Vandergreer. This one checks all of my boxes. There's 4 women, an anthropologist, a psychologist, a biologist, and a geologist, I think. And they live basically in a walled city. They live in an area that is safe, but it's the last of humanity. They are sending people to go out into Area X, that's the rest of the world, to figure out what's happening, because the last expedition group came back, all got cancer and died suspiciously. And so now they're sending these 4 women to go observe and figure out basically what's causing everybody to die under such suspicious circumstances. And they're all not dying from the same thing. So they can't figure out what this is and what's causing this. And so now we find our 4 women in Area X, and their lives might be at stake too. That one I'm very interested in. The next one is Coup de Grace. The Atrium. This one's for all of the Backroom fans. It's about a boy that decides to end it all, and when he does, he winds up in a bit of a liminal space. And by a bit, I mean a lot. He winds up in corridors, hallways, those are the same thing, endless rooms and doors. Feels like it's not like without a purpose, and then it come to find out he's not alone. That's all you need to know. And then we have episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. This one is your that's not the run of the mill. For people that like ghost shows, I like ghost shows. Jacob and I watch them a lot. It's kind of our thing. And it took me a long time to get to that point, and it's gonna take me a long time to hopefully build up the confidence to read this book, because it is about a TV show, a ghost TV show going to figure out what happened at the Paranormal Research Institution. Turns out it's very haunted, and there's a lot going on, and they have to survive in order to tell the story, but there's a lot of hijinks that happen that maybe make it very hard to do so. And those are my 13 reads for this fall. If you have read any of these, please feel free to go into the comments and let us know what maybe I missed, or if there are better accurate descriptions for these. Feel free. I tried to go off of what I read and what I know. Clearly I haven't read these, and I will report back when I do, but have recommendations that are in similar veins, please drop them below, because I am on the hunt for books that have the same feelings. I just really want a good Arctic mystery where everybody keeps disappearing. I don't know why, but I am just in the mood for that. I feel like Annihilation and Dark Matter are gonna be probably my top 2. I'll probably read those first, just because they are set in a world that I am utterly intrigued by. And if you like books, you like reading, stick around, because next week I should be going to our town library sale where all the paperbacks are $1, hardcovers are $2, and movies, DVDs, everything like that is 50 cents. And we are going to be limiting ourselves to 5 books, and 5 books only, because I have way too many books, so I can't be going in there like I normally do and buying a whole box full. I just don't have room anymore. So if you like reading, stick around, because next week we're gonna be going through more books, and it's going to be Sophie's choice on what books I can actually bring home with me, and I can't get above 5. I know. And until then, read something creepy, let me know about it, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!